welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
And Paloma Star.
You are all St. Patrick's realness.
I am. Usually I go out and drink a whole bunch of shitty green beer, but instead I'm inside. And you over here sporting your quarantine outfit.
Girl, bye virus. Girl, bye. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
Right, let's get the mind off of real world and talk about...
Isn't this so sad? Usually, like, wrestling is kind of an escape from real world.
Yeah, but then when you tune over and watch wrestling and there's nobody there, it kind of reminds you like, oh yeah.
Because of the situation, we also don't have live audience in this studio right now. Unfortunately, we can't have everyone. WrestleMania 36 is not canceled.
Yay! I think. Should we be happy?
I don't know. So it's officially moved to WWE Performance Center. So it will not be held in Tampa Bay anymore.
Oh my god. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I feel like maybe they should have just, like, cut their losses and postponed it. After this whole thing, whenever this thing is over, people are going to need, like, an escape and a release.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good question because they did talk about why Vince McMahon didn't change the WrestleMania date. Nobody really knows when this is going to end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons that he just decided to just go forward with it.
I mean, okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
Because you could even say, we're doing it in the summer, but what if in the summer, you know, like... everybody has like a third arm or something. I don't know. What if that's a symptom?
What?
It mutates.
Anyway, let's not spread false information.
This is what happens when I don't have nothing to do all day. I think about random shit.
The WrestleMania is still going to take place in April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be in the Performance Center, so everyone will be able to see it on streaming. We'll probably do a watch party. The essential people will be here, but just like that, WWE is going to have the most essential personals, the wrestlers and crews going to be there. On top of that, WWE is going to medically screen everyone that's going to be entering the Performance Center, so they're just gonna minimize the risk. Yeah,
that's smart. Definitely smart. I mean, the most important thing is everybody's health and safety. So, what better way to minimize it than to do that? I mean, it's crazy that you even have to do that bit right now. It's crazy times, so I guess it calls for crazy measures. You know what I was thinking about is, what if they realize that this is actually works for their benefit? Not so much at the PC, but what if WWE ends up building their own venue? And like stadium and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
interesting.
If we built our own arena or our own stadium, we're not gonna have to pay this crazy amount of overhead just once. See, I'm telling you, I'm like thinking way too much into it. What if they realize that this is a really good idea? They built their own arena and they have, you know, big pay-per-views there from time to time.
Like how they had their own restaurant.
Yeah.
In Times Square,
yeah,
right?
Exactly, like that. Except an arena where they could actually have shows. And I think a lot of people don't realize too, all the happenings that goes around WrestleMania, and besides WrestleMania itself, outside of WWE, like WrestleCon, the crazy amounts of indie shows that goes on.
Yeah.
Like there's indie shows that legit start like at midnight or like at 2 a.m. because there's so many shows going on. So not only does this affect, you know, us wrestling fans and people in WWE, but like all the indie workers who were going to be in Tampa for WrestleMania weekend.
There's indie shows that I've been looking forward to, like Effie's Gay Brunch that's been canceled. WrestleCon is currently canceled and they're having this whole cancellation issue with Marriott. I mean, how was your booking situation?
The last booking that I had was this past Saturday in Milwaukee, and that one went forward without a hitch. They just had signs everywhere. It says, do safety measures, don't touch anybody, don't touch the wrestlers. And even during intermission, we kept the distance. They would sanitize the ring after each match. We practice as much safety measures as we can. But I have the rest of my April is canceled, as well as obviously the 2 shows that I had this weekend. So I was not going down to Tampa, but I know a lot of people who were. Shaza McKenzie traveled all the way from Australia to come here. And then the craziest part was I was just reading her post yesterday that she didn't find out about all this till she was in the air, because she was in the air and she landed and she's like, I have a really random amount of messages. And, you know, I'm sure she would have known that beforehand, but, you know, it's a 14-hour flight. A lot can happen in 14 hours. It's just crazy how much it just affects everybody, not just WWE people, but really everybody trickle down effect.
Local wrestling and indie wrestling, they are the grassroots, and they're the foundation of WWE, the TV show that we watch. Support your local wrestlers. Go to Cameo or Pro Wrestling Tees and buy their merch and really support them.
Patreon, like we have.
Yeah. One of the other events that's canceled on this week, on this WrestleMania week, is the WWE Hall of Fame NXT TakeOver. Currently, there is no words on what kind of form they will be in, but But the rumor is that instead of having a TakeOver Wednesday before WrestleMania, there will be big NXT TV show. A Hall of Fame, they might sprinkle it on Raw and SmackDown, or it might be sprinkled in between matches in WrestleMania. There's also a rumor saying that Hall of Fame might be moved to SummerSlam time. Georgia Smith, daughter of Hall of Fame class of 2020 member British Bulldog, reveals that WWE is now considering SummerSlam weekend for this year's Hall of Fame ceremony.
Interested to see how they develop all this. I mean, who would ever thought would be in this situation? So everybody's scrambling to figure out what to do. Nobody knows what to do because nobody thought that we would be in this situation. So I'm really interested to see how they plan it out. I'm not envious of them. I'm glad I don't have to figure any of that out.
A lot of the states are basically banning any meetings that has over 50 people. The government also suggested that people shouldn't be meeting more than 10 people, right? The Battle Royale is not going to happen.
Because that's, unless it's like 10 people at a time, I don't know. That's not how it works.
WWE is not likely to produce the whole WrestleMania card at Performance Center. They will do parts of it. Because it's like to have like 7-hour show in the Performance Center.
No crowd too. That would be weird.
We will be the crowd. We'll be the virtual crowd watching it through a live stream if it happens. So rumor right now that's circulating today is that WWE might actually change the WrestleMania plan again. Because this is the whole like the business issues. Because for the longest time, Florida State and WWE was going like back and forth.
Like, no, you do it. No, you do it. You cancel it. No, you make me cancel it. Like, it really was like a standoff.
Because based on who cancels it, there's a whole like business reasons behind it and like insurance reasons. So the rumor right now is that due to insurance reasons, WWE has currently moved WrestleMania to Performance Center, but there is a possibility where they again move it to other venue, later dates. So right now the rumor is the WWE is looking into staging WrestleMania at June 7th in MSG, Madison Square Garden in New York.
That's so interesting. I wonder how they're going to work everything out. Like, are they going to have some WrestleMania matches at this WrestleMania and then save the rest for June? Like, I think everything's up in the air right now. Everything's so, nobody knows what's going on. What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's interesting because the thing about wrestling is that it is scripted, but it also is... The whole kayfabe is that they always include some amount of reality. If they can use this whole situation happening in the world right now to build up to their WrestleMania, like they crystallize.
I had crystallized. Oh. And now I'm a glamazon, bitch.
Like they crystallize into this amazing WrestleMania that's gonna happen in June. I mean, it could be a great story and great build-up. Let's see how WWE superstars are reacting to it. So Sasha Banks tweeted out, "I love you, Vince McMahon. Thank you, Vince." And then she wrote like an actual heartfelt message. "Breaks my heart to know that fans won't be able to attend WrestleMania. They aren't just there to watch the show, they're part of it. But priority is everyone's health. So April 5th, we will do our best to put on the show worthy of our fans."
I'm sure everybody understands. I don't think necessarily people should be mad. People should like get it. It's just, what can you do?
Yeah.
Nia Jax said, "This is true talent, to get out there with no audience and put on an incredible performance. This is why I love this company. Putting smiles on people's faces, entertaining the masses, allowing you to forget the troubles in the world for a little bit."
Paige said, "I can imagine it being frustrating for a lot of fans that won't be able to attend this year, but it is an incredible move from WWE still wanting to push through and entertain you guys to the best of their ability in such circumstances."
Liv Morgan said, "I'm so sorry to anyone that is inconvenienced, and I know those words don't even help, but believe we are going to put on the best possible show for you. WWE forever."
I'm surprised that she didn't put the live in the believe.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole point for her to use believe, to put live.
She's serious.
Yeah,
she's serious.
She's on brand.
Peyton Royce, heartbroken for everyone who was excited for WrestleMania in Tampa. "I'm so sorry for the fans. Billie Kane and I were so excited to meet. Our time will come. This WrestleMania will go down in history. I'm grateful for the city and WWE for making everyone safe during this time."
And Shayna Baszler said, "My first WrestleMania moment will be perfect. No one in the arena to dampen the sound of tendons ripping and bones cracking and snapping as I become the Raw Women's Champion and usher in a new era." That was the most perfect tweet for her.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, that was so on character for her. That was the best one I've seen.
I love it. And Rhea Ripley said, like, a dot, like a period. She seems very, very heartbroken.
I mean, I could see why. Like, this was legit her moment. Like, this was gonna, like, strap a rocket to her, shoot her to the moon type of thing. So, I could see why she's upset. It sucks. sucks, but I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. I mean, Rhea's like early 20s.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
You'll have like 15 more of
fine.
these. And then Mickie James, in order to talk about this WrestleMania moment, she created a first IGTV episode and she talked about it.
That's cute. Good idea, Mickie.
Hats off to everyone and hats off to the company. And I know it could sound crazy, but we are in such like turmoil right now, and this world has gone mad. I mean, people are fighting in grocery stores over toilet paper. It's ridiculous. And we're now like cooping ourselves up in our homes out of fear and paranoia. And at the end of the day, for me, we have wrestling, and wrestling is cool, and wrestling allows that escapism. We're allowed to escape wherever we're at, through the trouble that we're all in, and the fear and the scariness of all this uncertainty and the unknown at this moment. And I just know it's going to get better, and it's just, we have to get through this, and we're going to get through this together, and I'm just so grateful.
Lillian Garcia, I'm just as sad as all of you because I was super excited to go to WrestleMania weekend and meet you all. I also understand why WWE must do the show this way, as we don't know how long this coronavirus will last. Here's the better time and being together again.
Gail Kim, I think it's great that people can have the escape. I just hope that the health of the wrestlers are being kept in mind, such as testing.
Alundra Blaze, I think it's amazing. Who better to come together to find a solution quickly, diligently, safely for the public. The show must go on. This is incredible. And Trish Stratus tweeted out, well, my friends, we knew it was coming, but it's now official. She basically shared all the appearances that will be canceled. I mean, this was a big year for Trish Stratus because it is her 20th anniversary of her debut. And she was supposed to have this huge event with Inside the Rope celebrating the 20th anniversary of her big career. That event is canceled. Yeah.
I actually think this is what kind of a lot of people are craving, because basically all sports are canceled. You know, the NBA, hockey, and everything else. I think so many people who are not necessarily like avid wrestling fans might even stop by and watch this. That's why I even heard that, a quick rumor that it might have been even be broadcast on Fox. And quite honestly, that would be a pretty smart idea, because people are craving sports right now. There's no sports on TV whatsoever. Right. They're playing like replays and highlights and stuff like that. And even if people are not big wrestling fans, I feel people would tune in because it's something.
I was at the pizza place to pick up pizza over the weekend, and they were playing SmackDown all over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everyone was watching it. Let's talk about outside of WWE for a little bit, because other wrestling promotions are everybody's being affected. Everyone's affected. So AEW made an announcement saying that until further notice, live episodes of Dynamite will be produced at close set locations with essential personnel only. So very much similar situation with WWE.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how each individual company, now that there's more than just WWE, deals with this, and like what the different feel is and what it looks like. Because at first it was kind of like very like NWA power. I mean, I know there is audience there, but you don't necessarily see it all the time. But so I'm interested to see how AEW tweaks it to be their own, so it doesn't necessarily look, as an exactly carbon copy of like what WWE did.
I think AEW, given that they have the whole Elite show on YouTube, I think they might be more creative.
I could see that.
Yeah, because given that WWE, it was their first week of show, so they were trying to figure out what to do with it. I think the whole bit with Steve Austin and Byron Sexton with that weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know if it worked, but I see where the brain was going.
All I kept on thinking during that was like, it was somebody's job to get a whole bunch of Sharpies and draw those big ass numbers. And you're right, I think they might have more content because they are used to the digital platform and working with what they have. So maybe we'll see.
Also, Impact Wrestling is canceling Lockdown pay-per-view. But the cool thing is Impact Wrestling is still covering the pay for their talents who have lost bookings.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad. I feel more people and companies in general should be doing this.
Yeah.
So.
We've got a couple of women's news though. Women's specific news. Nia Jax, who we reported last week.
She's not like most girls.
So she was supposed to show up on SmackDown, but of course everything changed. Even Paige didn't make
because of travel issues.
So right now, according to Dave Meltzer, she is earmarked to return as a member of WWE Raw.
Ooh,
which is interesting. I think her feud with Becky Lynch will be great.
Oh, definitely.
And even her and Shayna Baszler.
That would be good. Oh, wow. I never even thought about that matchup, but now I think I want to see that.
Jillian Hall. She gave birth on March 4th. She gave birth to her second daughter, Violet Elise.
Yay. I always wonder, like, what second generation or even sometimes third generation daughters or sons are going to end up being wrestlers of all these, like, wrestlers having kids.
Jillian and I had a little Twitter interactions because she said she's not doing any interviews right now. So I told Jillian that it's just going to be top 5 and you're just going to react to whatever's happening.
Super chill.
Yeah. So she was like, Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Also, now that we're all quarantined and bored, there's some fun content coming up.
Yeah.
Because Total Bellas season 5 is coming back April 9th.
I can't believe it's already in season 5.
Right?
That went by so fast.
Yeah, I didn't watch a couple of last seasons, but I do remember seeing like the first couple of seasons, John Cena being asshole.
John Cena was like my favorite part because I feel like he was like ridiculous on purpose.
I hope it was in character because I would be like, I would leave him right away. And then she did. So
Yeah,
that was great.
so
It was great. So I want to see Happy Bella twins. Now that I'm so bored, I might.
You might catch up on them.
I know, I might actually do a review of those.
What?
Yeah.
There you go.
So I might bring my Lukey in to do a little. I think it will end up being like a couples therapy by reviewing
Right?
Bella's
Exactly.
relationship.
Like you come out with all this like insightful stuff just because of the Bellas. And
Yeah.
you could be like, thanks, Bellas.
Yeah, so that is all the news and rumor. Get ready for Eve Torres' interview coming up this weekend. That was a really fun interview. This was a really interesting interview because you can see very vividly where Eve is more proud of in her career.
Oh, really? I cannot wait to see it.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS, and today she looks so good to me. We're here with Eve Torres. Yes,
I'm here.
I'm excited to see it because I think she's one of those that doesn't get interviewed as much as everybody else does.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be kind of cool to see. You always get like the best ones, like the ones that are not like
Thank you.
as highly sought out to, but are still super interesting.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. Where can we find you, Paloma?
You can find me on Instagram, at Twitter, at Paloma Star. Give me some fun stuff, send some memes because we're all bored here.
And you can find me at DS Shen and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. All right, bye.